Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, June 6th, 2025. So, just a week away from an unlucky Friday.
Ooh, that's right.
Did you do the crossword?
I did.
And were you lucky?
I guess I was, yes.
Okay. Meaning you solved it?
I solved it, but I thought it was really hard.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I found it equally difficult. Mm-hmm. And I started doing all right and then started to run into areas where I thought I'm doomed. But somehow I managed to get through it. It is again a credit to the editors that somehow they're able to craft crosswords that, at least for me, look like they can't be done, but just a little bit of digging and I can usually get to a solution.
I had great trouble in the upper left corner. That's where I ended up. And I was just throwing letters right and left.
Really?
Trying to find something that would work. And I can't tell you how many different things I put in for 15 down. And for one down was adjective on a taco truck.
Right.
And
what was your first adjective?
Well, I don't remember.
I thought spicy.
Oh.
Although I wasn't sure if spicy was supposed to have an E in it. I had maybe spicky.
Oh.
S-P-I-C. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how you spell spicy. But I tried to put it in, and it got nowhere. I got nowhere fast with it.
No, I put adobo.
Oh, okay. Well, wait, but
turned out to be asada.
What about 14 across? The mouthful for the foul mouth. That was soap. Didn't you get that right away?
Well, I did, and then I took it out.
Oh.
And then and then one across, novelist Patchett, I was just sure it was Tom. So I had a T there. So I was thinking of words that began with T that would be on the side of a taco truck. Mm-hmm. So it was a T word. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I just put so many different things in there. And then 15 down, fails to keep cool. For some reason, I put sweats, which is actually what makes you cool if you sweat.
Right.
But it fit, but it didn't help. So, and then finally, 21 across, formally selects was anoints.
Yes.
And I had the T and the S at the end, and the N. I had that, but the rest I didn't have.
Which N did you have? The first N or the last N?
The last N.
Okay.
So I knew it N-N-T-S, and I'm just like, and we've had that clue before.
Yes.
And it was anoints, and finally I got 2 down. That's my absolute limit. I had put not anymore. Mm-hmm. It turned out to be not one more. But once I got that in, then I got a few of the other things. I put soap back in, and eventually I got anoints. So, but yeah, I had great trouble in that room. And the sweats part, the fails to keep cool, turned out to be panics.
Yes.
So,
but you didn't.
No, I didn't.
You kept cool.
Boy, I spent an awful long time on that corner.
Well, for 3 down, the big game medium, I thought I had the A, the second letter, and I thought it was going to be halftime or something like that, halftime show.
Oh.
But it wouldn't fit, and it turned out to be national TV.
Yes. And, I had the TV.
Right.
But I didn't have much else. And I just couldn't think, what kind of TV? Like high definition TV? Well, it didn't fit. I was just like, I just couldn't figure out what kind of TV it was. And I was thinking of maybe, a physical TV. But they were just talking about national TV, like, a national broadcast. On a TV, but it wasn't a particular kind of TV, which is what I was thinking. So anyway,
yeah,
it was very challenging for me.
Well,
which was good, you like to get challenged on a Friday or Saturday. You don't want it to be an impossible challenge, which this wasn't. I was able to get the rest of it. It was not easy, but I got it. But yeah, so I would say it was a very good Friday puzzle because, it was something that really made me think and was a real challenge to me. But I was able to get through it eventually. But I spent a little longer on it than I usually do.
Well, for me, my first sign of hope was 4 across, and that was advisor to an acting president. And I sort of honed in on acting, and I thought, ooh, drama. And it was drama coach.
Yes.
And I actually put that down right away.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, that helped a lot.
Oh, I was trying to think, well, maybe it's sort of like a Hollywood agent or something like that. But I got the one under it right away, 16 across, which was
Average guy.
Average guy, regular Joe. I did get that one right away.
Well, I got the R of regular Joe the first R of regular Joe out of 4 down. Snow fence accumulations, drifts.
Yes.
I've seen enough of those. Although here in Northeast Wisconsin, I don't know if people put up snow fences. I don't think there's enough snow to warrant it.
Oh no, there's snow fences.
Are there?
Yeah, you have to go out kind of toward the edge of town.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's snow fences.
I guess I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I mean they're mostly in the in rural areas, right? I grew up on a farm, and we had a snow fence.
Right, we had one in our living room. I mean, that's how cold it was.
You did not.
5 down was, depending on how you want to read it, perfect writing, ? Or perfect writing, which is the right way to read it.
That's right. Yeah.
And I had re-edit for a bit, but it turned out to be revise, which makes more sense.
Yes.
And then for 20 across, the milestone for a baby, I got the word first, and then I wasn't sure. I had first steps.
That's what I started with, yes.
And then it turned out to be first words.
First words.
There are probably a few other, everything that a baby does, they do for the first time, right?
Yes.
Could have been first burps.
So there are many milestones for the baby, yes.
Right. First sonata. Well, maybe not first sonata.
36 tripped me up. I eventually got it from the crosses, but I was mad because I was like, it was cupboard component. And I'm like, it could be shelves, it could be like risers or whatever. Yeah. Turned out to be silent P. And I'm just like, oh, shoot. I fell for it again.
Well,
I never think about, that it's something to do with the word, not the actual thing it's describing. So.
Sure, because the word component suggests something physical.
Yes.
Right, not just a letter, but shelves wouldn't have worked, right, because it's singular. So it would have to be cupboard component. I couldn't think of it. It's just like, let's see, they got doors. They've got a shelf. They've got maybe a handle. I couldn't. But then I'm not sure how I got 35 across. Cultural draw of Shanghai's M50 district. Art scene.
Yes.
That was sort of tricky. And my hardest, the hardest area for me and where I ended up was in the bottom left.
Oh.
Because, 52 across, split without warning. My first thought was, because I had the word and so I had go, and then I had the L, because 32 down, how many consent, the answer was verbally.
Right.
So I had ANDL, so I had go and leg it. I figured, if when you split without warning, you leg it.
Oh.
And or legit, depending on how you want to read that.
Leg it.
Leg it.
That's a real phrase.
Go and leg it. No, go and leg it is not a real phrase. I invented it because I couldn't get the correct one, which was up and leave.
Up and leave.
Well, I eventually did.
You probably couldn't get 46 down.
Oh, of course not.
2003 and 2021 Super Bowl champs informally.
Yeah. I had the U, and so I started off thinking it was the Cubs, and then
baseball.
Then I remembered their baseball, and so they probably wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
No,
that would have been a very surprise entry.
Yeah.
And here come the Cubs. Wait a minute. were about to be destroyed by the other team. Although they do have a pitcher who could throw a ball pretty quickly.
Yeah, the Chiefs, the Bucks beat the Chiefs in 2021.
Okay.
So
Really? The Chiefs lost? I didn't know they could do that.
yeah, they lost.
Actually, they did last year,
it
too.
was the Super Bowl. They lost.
But I had, I was thinking of all these letters, and then I had buds, and
But
I thought maybe there's a team, and then I was thinking like maybe there's the Bums. I don't know. I was trying to think of all the different possible teams. The trouble was 54 across. That third letter of what turned out to be Bucks was support when building bridges. And I had, 47 down is milky resource found in the outback, opal.
yes,
I was unsure as to how to spell opal. Because there's opal, I guess the mineral, and then there's opal, the car.
right.
And so I had it with an E, so I had E-N-T, and so I was thinking it was going to be dental something. I was thinking about building the bridge in your mouth if you're like a dentist. And so I was going for dental. And that meant, of course, that the 37 down, the seafood cookout bowlful, I had it as, instead of clam dip, I had it as, I am embarrassed to say this, clammed up. And, part of me was saying, it can't be clammed up. It has to be clam dip. But the other part was saying, it's got to be the word dental. It has to be something to do with bridges. So eventually the dip won out.
Well, good thing.
And so
right.
But then there was another, 50 down. 50 down was noted name in raga performance. Ravi.
Ravi.
Did you know Ravi?
No.
See, I didn't know Ravi, so I didn't know that letter. I didn't know the C, which I wanted it to be D. I didn't know the A. I wanted it to be E, and so I was just playing around. And it's like, come on, there's got to be something here. And then I got to cantilever, and I'm like, oh, cantilever, that kind of a bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, that was, for me, that was absolutely, positively the hardest part of the crossword.
It was tricky for me too, but I got it. I didn't think it was having anything to do with dental.
Well,
and I definitely believed it was clam dip.
well, I wanted to believe that. How about 46 across? Flavor enhancer in many faux recipes was bone marrow.
Bone marrow. I was thinking bone broth because I got the bone. Oh, it's bone broth, but then that didn't fit. So I'm like, oh, what else could it be? And then I got the O and the W at the end, and I thought it must be bone marrow. So yeah.
See, I thought it had to be monosodium glutamate. And it's just like, I can't get any of that to work here. That was the only flavor enhancer I know. So, yeah, that was tricky.
Yes.
I did like 55 across. Litter pickup area, nape.
Yes.
That was cute. And another area of difficulty for me was 39 down. Blank Howard, Yankee, who was the 1963 AL MVP. And that was Elston Howard. Did you know Elston?
I remembered his name was unusual. I wanted to kept calling him Houston.
Yeah, I wanted Houston,
like,
yes.
No, that's not his name. But it sounded like that.
Right.
And yet it turned out to be Elston.
Because 41 across, that L was part of not very animated Stolid.
Yes.
Which we just had, I think.
We did?
Didn't we? I think we had Stolid not too long ago.
I don't remember that.
Well, I can't, usually when I do this, I think we just had it, and then it turns out, oh yes, in 1976, let's see, we had it, we had it in May 21st. That's not too long ago.
Okay.
That's still sort of in my short-term memory.
Okay.
Let's see, was there any, prove otherwise was belie.
Yes.
That took me a bit.
Yes, and that was right above stolid. Those are two words you just don't use very often.
Yeah.
but anyway, yes.
And then there was another one that I thought was interesting, 40 across, some Halloween mischief. I wanted it to involve TPing.
Yes, me too.
But it was devilry.
Devilry.
I had devilry because 29 down bucketful was scad. And so I tried to hold on to that and eventually did.
Yes.
So this was a challenging, really interesting crossword by Adrian Johnson.
Nice job, Adrian.
Their 12th. And there's a picture of Adrian on xwordinfo.com, and they seem to be eating something. It's like they couldn't have put that down for the picture. You're going to be associated with, of course, this is X Word Info. It's not quite the New York Times, but I hope it was good.
Yep.
It was certainly a good crossword, so well done.
Very good, yes.
All right, that is it for the crossword. It is Friday, though.
Yep.
Which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday.
Do, 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 do.
Do you have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday?
I have a small fun fact.
A factoid, very good.
Yes, in I can't remember what day, we had a puzzle about clothing and various little sayings that had something to do with clothing.
Right.
And one of them was put a sock in it. And I'm like, gee, I wonder where that came from. So I actually found a website from Great Britain about socks, and it's from the sock shop.
Okay.
And if you've ever gone to London, you will see the sock shop. Sometimes they have kiosks in the tube stations and little.
Do they sell tube socks?
They probably do.
I would hope so.
They probably do.
Okay.
But anyway, this was part of their website was. Just, various origins of famous sock phrases. So they had like, pull your socks up, or
Sure.
sock it to me,
Sure.
knock your socks off, and bless their cotton socks. That must
Whoa.
be, that must
that's
be an
glorious.
English phrase.
Bless their cotton socks.
Bless their cotton socks.
Wow.
Yes. But they did have put a sock in it. And here's what they say about it. While some suggest putting a sock in it was an early form of volume control for gramophones, the dates don't really add up. The Athenaeum, a London-based magazine, ran a definition in 1919 saying it meant leave off talking, singing, or shouting. But by that time, gramophones had been hugely popular for well over a decade. Another source suggests, once again, that it comes from the Army. This time, it was the front line of World War I. A 1916 set novel, The Middle Parts of Fortune by Frederick Manning, used the phrase. It may be said that only made it to home shores in 1919 when soldiers returned from the front. Socks in the trenches would have been foul-smelling items, so putting one in your mouth would have been thoroughly disgusting. So saying put a sock in it means be quiet or I'm going to put a smelly sock in your mouth. So there you go.
All right. What was the one about the cotton?
The bless your cotton socks.
Bless your cotton socks. I think that's...
It's funny. It says, while this might seem a straightforward one, little children who wore socks, cotton socks, would be blessed. It's actually a bit more complicated than that, as if the stories are to be believed. It comes not from the cotton material, but from George Edward Lynch Cotton. In 1858, as Bishop of Calcutta, Mr. Cotton created schools for Eurasian children. As part of his philanthropy, he ordered dozens of pairs of socks to be sent over for children, blessing them on arrival. One day, an overeager staff member handed out the socks before they were blessed. So in the future, a note was added to the crates of socks saying, "Cotton socks for blessing." When he died in 1866, a message was sent to the Archbishop asking, "Who will bless the cotton socks?"
Wow.
So there you go.
That is glorious.
That comes from the sock shop.
All right.
In the UK.
Very good. Okay. That is it for today then.
Okay.
So thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts. Please let other people know about us on social media. And we will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of what is usually the hardest crossword of the week.
Yes.
And considering today, that's saying a lot.
I know.
But we will be back to talk about that crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.